Hey guys, it's Tarot and Beyond. If you're new here, my name is Siobhan, and today we are looking at an area in life where you are accelerating. So I was just thinking about what reading topic I wanted to do, and I was like, well, should I just go in and kind of see what comes up? It was funny because I was sitting there asking that question in my head, and I looked down, and there was a canister, a bottle of Excel gum on the table. And I heard accelerate. And I'm pretty sure that the actual branding was like accelerate your breath. So I thought that was kind of funny. And I was like, oh my God, that's the topic, acceleration. Because I have been seeing, and I think in one of the previous readings, I don't remember which one from a couple of weeks ago, Spirit was showing me cars accelerating and engines revving and things like that. So I figured what a perfect topic for today. This was the deck that called as the significator. It's this dragon deck. So we've got the three options you see before you. Group number one is the golden solar dragon. Group number two is the omega dragon. And group number three is the orange gold dragon from Arcturus. If you feel called to more than one dragon, there may just be multiple areas in life that you are accelerating at this time or that you're coming up to, or there's multiple messages that Spirit wants to bring through for you right now. So trust your intuition, use it to guide you through the readings, to take what resonates and leave what does not. The timestamps are linked in the description box, or you can use the chapters to jump ahead to your chosen reading or readings, and we'll see you there. All right, hi group number one. Welcome to your reading. You chose the golden solar dragon, and it says, helps you stand in your masculine power with wisdom. Let your DNA be reprogrammed and light codes activated. Become an inspired leader. I'm hearing something about traction, and they're showing me where the rubber meets the road. So the acceleration is literally that traction point where the rubber meets the road. If you're just revving the engine, or because what they're showing me is like a tire. If you rev the engine of a tire and it's not touching the road, then it's not actually accelerating. Like you're adding something about fuel to the fire, but you're adding gas to the engine. You're adding energy, but it's not doing anything or going anywhere. So the acceleration is actually where that physical momentum starts to take place. The energy of the masculine power here, to me, is really talking about where the action is externalized. So where things are accelerating in your life are where you are physically taking action. And if you are called to a particular area of your life in a way that is action oriented right now, that's where you're really going to start to see this pickup. They're saying picking up speed. They're saying momentum again. I did just hear the word withdrawal. Withdrawal? What are you talking about? I'm not getting anything else. They just said withdrawal. So now I'm thinking, well, does this mean that you're withdrawing from something, withdrawing your energy from something, refocusing, tuning into something else, putting energy into something else? Or is this a withdrawal from a bank account? Maybe you're taking money out to invest it into something or to do something. I'm not sure. Your card does talk about DNA, light codes being activated, and inspired leadership. So no, they are telling me that something took a toll on you. Withdrawal. What else could withdrawal mean? Because they keep bringing me back to that. They're not giving me more. They want me to figure it out. Withdrawal. Well, you go through withdrawal if you stop doing something. The symptoms of the withdrawal, like if it, like say for example, you're eating sugar and then you stop eating sugar, you might go through withdrawals. Or if you're addicted to something, you stop using it or doing it, you go through withdrawals. I'm still not sure how that relates to this message or how that's connected here, group number one, but that's what Spirit's telling me, so I got to bring it through. Well, can I ask then, where's the withdrawal, or what's the withdrawal? We have Sagittarius, optimism, exploration, and freedom. I keep getting this energy of action, implementation, taking. They're saying something about great strides. great strides, making great strides or progress. This is where things are accelerating, but it may come along with withdrawals. They're showing me something at the physical level, withdrawals at the physical level. Something about the exploration here into new territory being significant. It's like this new action. I keep getting that. This new action is so significant because it's taking you into a new territory. But maybe as you venture into this new territory and you do it quite quickly, you're withdrawing from something that you were doing before, or pulling away from something in favor of investing that energy elsewhere. Time, energy, money, I'm not sure yet what this is. Square, a challenging situation and a mountain to climb. Taking on great challenges and being able to overcome them. The square is a challenging aspect in astrology, but it does create the capacity to grow, and it challenges you, but it does create that growth and that getting to the top of the mountain. I'm seeing something here about this challenging situation making it possible for you to achieve something. And they keep saying where the rubber meets the road. They are talking about the acceleration point. I just heard ascension. And you have 2 fire signs here now too. Leo, self-confident, loyal, and creative. Self-confidence, loyalty, and creativity. And I was going to say that the energy of the solar dragon, it is, solar is fire, sun is fire. Leo is the soul ruled by the sun. And the fire element to me is masculine. It feels masculine anyway. So you've got a lot of masculine, because this is what this talks about too. Masculine fire and drive. I'm hearing the fire of industry, being industrious. Something was elusive. I just heard that something was elusive, or maybe there was something that was withdrawn from you and you're having to go after it. It's giving me like runner chaser energy. Where have you been chasing something, but maybe it didn't get off the ground? It felt like it was elusive to you, ran away from you. As soon as it hits the pavement, it's off to the races. That's actually a synchronicity. They were showing me racehorses again. And I think that actually came up in that previous reading that I referenced in the intro of this video, in connection to why I chose this topic, or why it came up and why I felt like we needed to do it. The racehorse, the race car, you guys are accelerating really quickly. But what area is this? The only fire sign we're missing here is Aries. And I was just going to say, maybe this is in the area of your self-confidence, your independence and your leadership. And Aries makes me think of independence and leadership and confidence. And Leo here is talking about confidence as well. So let me see. Oh, another aspect, conjunction, a union, merging and coming together. Now, I did mention runner chaser, and the word union coming out here could indicate the process of hieros-gamos, or the hieros-gamos within you. The inner merging. Oh, and 2 fire, twin flame. Okay. I got to be careful with using that word, because I don't like it. It has a lot of negative connotations because it became bastardized by the spiritual community. It was really, and if you're not familiar, I actually started out doing twin flame readings on my old channel 7 or 8 years ago, and moved away from it because as I continued to awaken, I realized, ooh, there's something off about this. But there is an actual aspect of soul unification called hieros-gamos, which is the actual term for it. And this is what I'm seeing. So that acceleration, and that's a DNA activation. That's a light body activation. Okay. And this is accelerating your spiritual maturity, is actually what I just heard. Elevating or accelerating your spiritual maturity. We have Earth, persistence, patience, and practicality. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I heard grounding it and making it real. They're showing me a mountain of money. They're literally showing me like a pile of gold coins. Making it real. Yeah, I was wondering with the withdrawal reference, is this to do with a bank account or some kind of an investment? I never know with spirit if it's literal or if it's symbolism, because a lot of the time it's symbolism, but they can do both. So I'm going to move to a different deck actually. Something is complicated. I just heard something is complicated. What's complicated? Well, this reading's a little complicated, but let's see. Face your problems head on with confidence and courage, and you will emerge victorious. Confidence being referenced here again. So you're having to have confidence in your ability to take action and to drive yourself forward here in something that you've been chasing. I also just heard the word attracting. Maybe you're moving from chasing to attracting by focusing on these intentional actions or this level of embodiment that is causing this inner merge to occur, the masculine and the feminine polarities within the self coming together and working in harmony. Chameleon, stay in the background and adapt to the situation rather than being conspicuous and attempting to direct the course of events. That's interesting. Why would you not need to direct this event? Or why would you not need to direct this course of events? They just showed me a wheelbarrow. They also showed me a wheel, like a steering wheel. I'm hearing something about the Wheel of Fortune. That's a tarot card talking about destiny and direction. I'm hearing in your wheelhouse. Okay. Tortoise, you're too fragmented, so do whatever it takes to get grounded. Okay, this is very direct. Earth sign energy, getting grounded. If you have felt fragmented lately and therefore scattered in your ability to take direct action, like spinning your wheels, not actually getting any traction or knowing what direction you need to put that energy in, they're saying get grounded. Because this is what's going to cause the acceleration. It's interesting that this is the tortoise, you know, like this, the story of the tortoise and the hare. You're going to get there faster by slowing down and getting grounded than you will by trying to leap into action and rushing around from that scattered energy. Don't chase, attract. And they said something about don't chase, act. Don't chase, attract. Don't chase, act. Acting with intention. You're still moving toward what you want, but you're not chasing it. You're like moving with, I don't know, with intention is what it feels like. Moving with intention. They said something about behaviors shifting. They're showing me the chameleon changing color. Your behaviors may shift. Something about adaptation or being able to adapt to the circumstance. They're showing me a vehicle, like a car with color changing paint. Yeah, it's like the chameleon. And they also just showed me references to different cars needing different fuel types, like diesel, gas, electric. I'm hearing something about solar power. Oh my God, solar power, right, the solar dragon. Getting outside and grounding in the sun here may be really, really helpful for some DNA codes to be activated within you, to be unlocked here. And this could change something about your energy field. And this causes you to become attractive, and therefore that accelerates this progress for you. It's like slow down to speed up kind of thing. Goose, take time to rest and recuperate rather than continuing your striving. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. I was going to say thank you, God, for this very, very direct confirmation on what I was just saying. So take time right now to rest and recuperate, especially if you're going through major DNA activations, guys. You know, if you're not new to this process, it takes a toll on the body. The DNA has to go through the die-off process, and then you have to regenerate, and it can be a heavy toll. And so you may need extra rest, or to slow down, or to let yourself ground out some of this energy, maybe even doing it in a physical way. Masculine energy needing to be expressed in a grounded, restful way can sometimes be about like just going for a walk, doing something active, while at the same time it's an act of recuperation or rest in and of itself. Like sometimes going to the gym can be an act of recuperation or rest, because the body needs to offset some of that energy that's pent up, and then it allows you to actually, it kind of forces you then to rest afterwards, because you can't just go forever. Otherwise you burn out. Mouse, you're overlooking some important details. So play, something about play. So pay closer attention to what's going on. I heard the word minutia, like the little details that are kind of going on behind or underneath the surface. Tiger, you're being called upon to provide leadership. Yeah, here you go, leadership again. So trust that you're capable of doing so. You are being called into a leadership position. Unicorn, indulge your creative, imaginative, and magical side through some form of autistic. Oh my God, wow. Okay, hold on. Somebody autistic here? Maybe you're used to burnout cycles. That's a very specific message for someone, but artistic expression. I'm hearing something about from me to you, an artistic expression, an exchange of ideas, something very unique, very special. And having confidence. They just took me back to this, and it does say creativity here with Leo as well. Having confidence in your creativity and letting this be the guide to lead this energy forward. They keep saying not chasing, attracting, not chasing, attracting. Well, I think let's get some tarot. So what is this leadership position that seems to be part of this whole process of acceleration? 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, this withdrawal from the bank account, not having the resources, or feeling either burnt out energetically and physically. I'm hearing something about something was physically demanding. They keep showing me the spinning of the tires. It's exhausting if you are revving your engine and exhausting. Oh, right. They were showing me synchronicities of like black exhaust coming out of cars. I kept driving around and seeing that randomly for the past several days. It was like every time I'd leave the house, I would see a car with this black exhaust coming out of it and puffs. And I was like, what does that mean? And I wrote it down a few times, and I was sitting with it. And then it happened again the other day, and I heard in my head, exhausted. And I was like, oh my God, literally exhaustion, exhausted. That black smoke, like the engine is worn out. There's something off about it. It's burnt out, and it needs some time to rest and recuperate. This is going to help you to go faster. This is maybe the details you're not seeing below the surface, but there may be some signs, some warning signs or symptoms. Maybe they're showing up in your bank account. Maybe they're showing up in your health. Maybe they're showing up in your mental health. And so this is where you want to be careful here. I'm hearing the word cautious. Just be cautious with this, because the creative drive may be to chase, to do, to act, to go forward and go forth and conquer. And that's great. You want to use that energy, but you need to be wise about how you use it and when you use it, because you may have a lot of creative ideas, but your physical body needs some rest to be able to recuperate and have the capacity to act on them. So the action is what is going to accelerate this, but only, because this is the big caveat here, only when you are grounded and stable to be able to act on that in an efficient way where that rubber hits the road. Otherwise, if the tire isn't on the road, you're just going to spin your wheels and burn yourself out, and you're not going to get anything done. And then you'll feel frustrated. And then you're not going anywhere. You're not leading anyone. Even if this is just you leading yourself out of poverty consciousness. I heard poverty stricken. out of poverty consciousness, feeling poverty stricken, whether it's energetically or literally. Nine of Wands, I heard the last straw. The last straw. There's the straw that broke the camel's back, something about over-productivity, I'm hearing. It feels like I keep getting the same message here, so I'm just going to keep bringing it through because that's what they're showing me. Group number 1, it feels like you have been like overly attempting to be overproductive, trying to do too much almost, but like maybe you feel like you've been doing nothing, and that's because you've been trying to do too much with not the right set of circumstances. Okay, they're showing me the color shifting car again. I still don't know what that's talking about. Adapting. Oh, they're saying when the sun hits it, it changes color. Oh, the sun. You need sunlight. You need sunlight. Your solar plexus. This is where the spinning tire has been. That's what they're saying. Literally, when they say you got a spare tire around your stomach, like if you've gained weight in the mid region, that's the solar plexus area. Solar plexus chakra has to do with self-confidence, order, organization, the ability to take leadership and put things into literal action, like an idea becomes physical and expressed. And it can be through exercise and self-discipline and building the confidence in that external way, that very masculine way, that the solar plexus can come into balance. It really depends on what your situation is. Like, I don't do energy readings anymore like I used to, and energy healing and stuff like that. But when I used to work with people and I would see an underactive or an overactive solar plexus, we'd have to look at some of the symptoms of that and how to correct it, how to bring it back into balance. So it depends if you're on the underside. They're showing me a pendulum. Oh, maybe you're swinging both. You go into a deficit and then you overcorrect and do too much, and then you exhaust yourself and then you swing back the other way. So to get the pendulum into the middle ground here, to have the solar plexus feeling healthy, confident, stable, secure, where you have the energy, literally the physical, biological energy to be able to do some things here. They're showing me the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. And it needs that solar energy. Maybe it needs some red light therapy or some vitamin D or something like that to get it. Yeah, glial cells, they're saying. Red light therapy does activate glial cells in reproducing and healing, but it's also through this process of degradation. So it's like it causes that die-off, and that's what creates the cellular reproduction and the healing. Look into red light therapy group number 1 if you feel called. I'm not a doctor. This is not a medical advice at all. Oh, did you hear that? That thing just fell over. So Spirit clearly has a message for you here. It was this. It was just like at the top from a Yankee Candle or whatever those Bed Bath & Beyond candles are, or Bath & Body Works. It's not an actual sacred geometric thing. It's just a candle topper that I use as a where I put my coffee. Oh, yeah, it's like a coaster. Coffee, like, again, energy, something about energy. Your cells need energy. They're saying reproducing energy. They're showing me cellular merging. Oh yeah, merging. Union, coming together. And 5 of Wands. They said reproduction again. Maybe this is even talking about the sacral chakra? No, maybe, but no, they said reproducing results, and they're showing me the ant. Ants are so productive. Yeah, I feel like you've been trying to be so productive, group number 1. And then that's not bad, but like you kind of have to read the room in terms of your body and its capability and what it's going through, and maybe the level of DNA activations that you're getting from the sun or something like that, because you need some time to integrate. But they're saying that you're being put into a leadership position, some of you getting upgrades so that you can stand in a more authoritative position in life. They said power log, something about a power log. What is this? Power log, like an extra battery? What is this? A journal where you write down your power moves? I don't know how to interpret that. Power log. 9 of chalices. I heard 9 of chances. That's why I stumbled over that word. 9 of chances, 9 of chalices, 9 of cups. This is your wish fulfillment. This is you being able to create your own sense of fulfillment and satisfaction, seeing the results of your actions really starting to come to fruition here. But it feels like first you need to take care of yourself before you'll see any of that come to pass. Like she's sitting here with her crystal ball. I got mine right there. and telling the future, gazing into the future. To do that, you have to be content in the present, grounded, anchored in the now. That'll help you to see the details that maybe have been eluding you and will be helpful to see. They said crossing the barrier, something about crossing the barrier. They're saying something about the blood-brain barrier. What? Oh yeah, they're taking me back to the message about withdrawal. When I'm in the channel state, sometimes it's like being in a rushing river and you're just like whipped around sometimes. I forget what came before until they remind me, or if they remind me. Something about withdrawal. Are you getting off of medication? Are you doing something different? Because the blood-brain barrier is, medication has to be able to cross, it has to be small enough to cross that blood-brain barrier to be able to get into and have psychoactive effects. So there's something about withdrawal that they're bringing up here. The Holy King, the Hermit. 2 9s in a row, 2 9s. Okay, so this is talking, and I'm just noticing now that you also have, oh no, hold on. You got a 5, and 9, 9, 9. So 3 9s total, and then 2 5s. 5s are about change, rapid change. I'm hearing something about reorganization, reorganizing, or an organization. Oh yeah, the solar plexus does have to do with organization, strategy, an effective plan that you can then put into action. 9s talk about, okay, they just said leadership. I was going to say, because 9s actually have to do with closure and endings and completions. They're saying something about a categorization and leader. You're being placed into the leader category. They're saying something about a plot twist or a plot redefining moment. What is going on here? Group number 1. And maybe you're going from being more isolationist or pulled back and feeling like you're alone and like overwhelmed, or dealing with some of these physical, I'm hearing something about retrospective or retroactive. Feeling alone, feeling outcast, feeling like you don't have what you need. Then all of a sudden you're like thrust into this different version of self, or put into a role that you wouldn't have imagined. Why? 5 of Swords. I heard the people need you. The people need you. The peacock here speaks of confidence as well, and physical beauty or physical expression. They're really drawing my attention to these flowers. I don't know what kind of flowers those are. Maybe not quite poppies. No. Maybe. If you think you know what kind of flowers those are, can you put that in the comments? The buttons on his jacket look like a ladder moving up the spine, moving up. They're showing me the spines of the feathers of the peacock, the way that they branch off like that. The order, the spine is the structure within the body. DNA codes in the spine? Yeah. They said the people need you, so let me come back to that. So what are you talking about there, Spirit? They said the people's menace. They're showing me Dennis the Menace. What? Well, the 5 of Swords has to do with like disagreements and ego challenges and battles and one-upsmanship and sore loser, sore winner type of energy. It's not coming to any kind of agreement, not seeing eye to eye. So if this is what's going on in some area of your life, you're being called into a position of leadership so that you can I'm hearing squash the beef. You're the peacock. You're not either one of these people. You're the peacock. Proud, but not prideful. You're going to help to squash some beef, I guess. King of Swords, King of Athames. But first I heard, but first you got to get your mind right. Queen of Wands underneath, and your power in alignment so that you know how to direct it and what to do with it. And this is what's accelerating right now. So your healing is accelerating. Your healing, your confidence, your ability to take decisive action, to know what your intuition is telling you to do, to be able to adapt and change to circumstances that require you to do so. The chameleon adapts and changes. The number 5, again, it's about adaptation and change. This is another 5. Look at that. You have 555 and 999. Yep, there you go. Adapting to change because there's some kind of a conclusion that is, I'm hearing bolstering, that is taking you from one position to another. But in the process of going through this, okay, they said cataclysmic change. It may feel earth-shaking to you. That's why they're saying make sure that you're grounding. It may feel like they're giving me the example. I don't know if this is literal or what, but again, they're showing me somebody going through withdrawal, like somebody quitting alcohol and going through the shakes and stuff like that. Whole process can feel so destabilizing, but it's to get you back into alignment with yourself again so you know how to actually use your energy from the core strength within you. And I'm also just realizing right now that when I used to work with people one-on-one back in the day, and I would see people with really, really like chronically destabilized and distorted solar plexus chakras, oftentimes they did have literal addictions that they were battling because the solar plexus is our area of self-discipline and self-control. And when we consistently subvert that and choose to use our actions against ourselves, that causes damage, like real damage, not just to the body, but to the energy body, to the solar plexus, and to the psyche. The self starts to doubt the self and it becomes a chronic issue. And that may cause that spinning of the wheels, something about wheels. I don't know what that's talking about. The wheels, spinning of the wheels, because you're not getting the traction that you need between what you're imagining, thinking, wanting, desiring, and what you can actually do to make that happen. So this is a massive shift, group number 1, in your ability to trust yourself and to feel confident in your ability to take action and to see things literally come to be in your life. And this is going to, whether you like it or not, put you in a leadership position because there are people that need you to set an example. They're showing me an example because, again, I don't know if this is literal or not, but they're showing me an example of somebody who gets clean from alcohol, goes into AA and gets sober, and then becomes a mentor for other people who are trying to do the same thing. So it's like you are able to then walk the walk, talk the talk, which is very King of Swords, talk the talk and walk that walk, embody it, and help other people who are going through the same thing. And I think this is part of the destiny because they did mention Wheel of Fortune earlier. Didn't come out of the cards, but they showed it to me and I heard it. And it's connected to that wheel energy again, to like where the rubber meets the road here. It's destiny. It's destiny for you to be able to show up and be in this position, to be arisen. I am hearing arisen, or to rise up to this position, rise to the calling, even if it feels daunting, even if it feels like there's going to be a lot of pressure, or they're saying you can bear it. Something about, they're showing me that camel with the straw that broke the camel's back. They're like, it's not to say that you have to take all that on, but there's something about you that's different, and you can weather any storm like the camel in the desert. You're built for like hard, you're able to survive. Not that you have to live in a harsh environment or deal with this 5 of Pentacles lack energy, but you have in some way already. Like, you are a survivor. You have been through the worst. You have dealt with the hardships of life. There's no doubt about that in my mind. I can see it. I can feel it here clairsentiently. And given the symptoms that I'm seeing show up in this reading, I would venture so far as to say that you've had a really hard time. They're showing me somebody knocking on doors. I'm not sure. Soliciting, so chasing, yeah, like literally like knocking on doors, trying to get what you want, and it's been difficult and you haven't gotten it, or you haven't found the way to make it work. And it's because there's an energetic shift that needs to take place and is taking place through this period of time. Now, this energy is accelerating currently. That's what Spirit they said currently. Okay. So group number 1, this is happening right now, like literally as we speak. And they're saying big ups. You're getting big ups because these challenges that you've been facing, or that you are having the courage to face right now, are not going to look quite so challenging as time goes on, because they're showing me that climbing of the mountain again, this challenging situation with the square. It leads to your growth. It's very productive. And as you start to see that taking place, and you start to feel the changes, the difference, or to actually exert more force through your body and to feel stronger because of it, you're going to, it feels like you're going to feel more at peace. That longing or that craving or that deep desire, that chasing, is going to dissipate. It's going to start to slowly wane away, because it's not coming, you're not coming from that place of spinning your wheels anymore. You're actually going to start to see the progress, and that's going to be satisfying in and of itself. That's the 9 of Cups, that's satisfaction. Okay. They said, keep going. We know it's been a hard road. Right, the car on the road. Group number 1, you are being directly acknowledged by Spirit for the hard work that you've put in. And the fact that you may not have always been pleased with yourself in that ability to produce, or to produce the quality, because solar plexus can also, in the distorted sense, be about perfectionism, being really self-critical and feeling like nothing is good enough, and that creating that perpetual cycle of chasing and trying to do and trying to be the best and not feeling good enough all the time. It's vicious. It's a vicious cycle. And it feels like you've been through that hardship to some degree, because I'm feeling it and Spirit is saying it. So look, if this is the case, they want you to know that you're actually going to see real positive change in your life. But here's the thing, here's the catch. You need to want that. You need to decide for yourself, on behalf of yourself, that that's what you are committed to. Because as soon as you commit to change, these things will change. But you have to put in the effort. You have to involve yourself through the action and the embodiment of this desire in its true form, rather than chasing your tail, is what Spirit just showed, rather than chasing your tail, because you're never going to catch it. And you're just going to exhaust yourself and expend energy that could be much better placed elsewhere. So I'm sending you love here. Group number 1, I'm sending you love. And Spirit is sending you love to help encourage you, to help you to see the true value within yourself that lies beyond your productivity or beyond the results that you get in life, that is at the core, at the heart. Literally, they're showing me the heart chakra. It's at the heart of your being. That unconditionality for yourself may be the real motivating driving factor. They're showing me the gasoline again, or these different sources of fuel. That may be the fuel that's going to actually light that fire and help you to put that energy in the right direction. That's what's going to get it going. So love yourself and allow yourself to begin slowly, gently moving forward again. That's the acceleration you'll see. I love you. Thank you for being here on the channel. I hope this reading was helpful. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. And if you feel called to dive deeper here on the channel, we do have memberships available. We've got 2 tiers of membership which give you access to additional content. We've got weekly readings for the members with written in topics written in by members. And we have monthly live streams where we do live readings and energy work, and I do readings for the people that are there as well. And yeah, that's what I have to say, group number 1. So I hope it was helpful. I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi group number 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Omega Dragon, harnesses the divine feminine power of creation, intention, hold your vision, birth the higher consciousness. I love this energy. Group number 2, the acceleration is like beyond, I'm hearing beyond recognition, or you're moving like really far beyond something that you thought was possible. I'm hearing feasible. And it's because you're holding the frequency, like the actual frequency of this higher consciousness. Visionary status. Something about the vision being scary, though. Vision is scary. Hold a revolution, polluting the airwaves, a rebel. Come on, let me bask in the fact that I got everyone kissing my ass. It's a disaster, such a catastrophe. Okay, so there's something here. That's Eminem. But there's some Gemini rapper. Oh my God. Most rappers are Geminis, because that's why. And I is Eminem a rapper? I wonder if he is. Or is Eminem a rapper? Of course he is. I mean, is Eminem a Gemini? I wonder if he is, because he raps so quick, and that's very Gemini. And he has that alter ego, where Marshall Mathers, Slim Shady, Eminem, he's got multiple, Rabbit, like there's multiple alter egos, which is very Gemini. It's the twins, it's the two. Curiosity, intellect, and networking. I'm getting crown chakra and throat chakra, something about a merge of those two, or like fluidity of channeling between those two, embodying this higher frequency. And they're showing me the speed, again, like speed rapping. Eminem is known for his speed rapping. I'm hearing something about the conclusive results, or something being conclusive, or concluding. Conclusive. The sun, self-express and embody truth. Yeah, throat chakra is very much about self-expression and the truth. Gemini sun, yeah. Like I was saying, like there's sun, moon, and rising, right? In the natal chart, those are like the sort of top points of our personality. But the Gemini sun energy here. When is Gemini season? When's the sun in Gemini? Is that June or July? I always get those 2 months mixed up. The 2 J months. M and M, J and J. Interesting. Gemini, the twins. Yeah, there's something mirroring here. There's something twinning. So I just heard anchoring, something anchoring. Pluto. Wow. Transform. Anchoring a massive transformation from this higher level. I'm hearing conglomerate, and they also said the word completion. Oh my God, Pluto. I was just, all of a sudden I realized the lyrics of that song also talking about rebel and revolutionary, and the Pluto, revolutionary communication and self-embodiment of truth. Are you starting a revolution, group number 2? Are you somehow like speaking? They're showing me people holding picket signs, or yeah. This is probably symbolic more than anything else, right? Because that's how spirit communicates. They communicate hyperbolically through symbolism so that they can get their point across and emphasize the energy. But yeah, it feels like you are a rebel with a cause, not a rebel without a cause. You're a rebel with a very direct cause here. And the truth of that is shining brighter than ever before. I'm hearing conclusive. It's conclusive now. That truth is conclusive. It's beyond a shadow of a doubt. The 7th house. Oh, relationships, profound relationships, intimacy, and romantic partnerships. I heard transforming the self. And the relationship with self is the foundation for all of our relationships with anyone else. And since that reference to alter egos came up, I feel like this is what's happening. It's like you are stepping into an alter ego of yourself that holds this ability, this strength to be able to transform. It's an aspect of the higher self is what I just heard. Okay, yeah, the higher consciousness. It's an aspect of the higher self, and it holds great power, great wisdom too. And as you anchor this and allow yourself the identity to transform, there's a purposeful, they said purposeful regard, but then I also heard purposeful retreat. I'm not sure how to interpret those. Purposeful regard, purposeful retreat. Maybe you're being regarded for not backing down, or maybe you're making a purposeful retreat to do this, shining a light. They're saying shining a light on the inner self. I'm hearing inner standing, understanding, but inner standing, understanding yourself on the inside. Playing with these roles and topics is what they just said. Playing with these roles and topics. Scorpio, ruled by Pluto. So much intensity here. Yeah, literally intensity, exposing, purging, and renewing. Okay. They just showed me like a dark sea, glassy sheen on the top of the water, but it's black, pitch black underneath the surface. And so it's like almost like the moon is reflecting off the top of it. And Scorpio moon, something about the moon. And that anchor plunged deep. They're showing me all the bubbles coming off as it descends into the depths, the anchor descending into those depths and creating the stability, or maybe like the chains of the anchor are links to the higher realm. And you're anchoring that, stabilizing it in the physical, deep, deep down in this subconscious realm where things have been relegated to, hidden in. Parts of the self not explored, I just heard. And you're opening that up. I'm hearing the word raw and real. Raw and real. And they're showing me rebels. They're actually showing me Miley Cyrus when she went through that real rebellious stage with the infamous like VMA award performance. And it was like very, woo. But it was because she was rebelling against the persona that she had worn and the innocence of that whole Disney Channel Hannah Montana phase that she'd been in. So it was this massive transformation, and yeah, sure, the pendulum swung too far the other way, but that's part of sometimes healing. And then it balanced, and now she's, found her real authentic self. So, but there's like a purpose to the rebellion and to the shifting of the ego and this alternate self being exposed and the real raw self kind of being dragged right along with it. It's like they're showing me now, like when that anchor hits the bottom, gets all up in the seaweed, and then when you pull the anchor up, all that seaweed and all that muck comes right along with it. And you can actually look at it and see what that is. So yeah, it's definitely something being exposed here from deep, deep within you. And maybe the relationships you have with other people are going to be accelerating that, because this is an acceleration reading. So these people in your life that maybe trigger that or expose that within you or see that within you or bring out the best or the worst in you. But I did hear bring out the best. They bring out the best in you. I heard problem solver, and they said truth teller, problem solver and truth teller. 10th house, structure, discipline, life mission, accomplishments, and career. Okay, this one wants to be here too. I was going to go put the deck down. Oh, there's the moon on the bottom. Yeah, I was hearing Scorpio moon. Satisfy emotional needs, nurture self and others. Okay, I'll take all of that. Virgo is here as well, but I'm not going to talk about it. 10th house, the moon, what's this? Fixed. Stability, persistence, loyalty, and dependability. So maybe you've been in like a fixed state of self, a fixed version of you, a fixed character that you've been playing, a persona, an identity. And now all of a sudden the acceleration of this higher consciousness, this wisdom being unlocked from within you. The owl here is about darkness, the moon, right? But it's also this wisdom and intellect. And it's reminding me again of the crown chakra. I'm hearing something about very regal, very regal. Divine feminine power is dark, and it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just dark and light in the polarity sense. not even, how do I explain this? It's like having trouble finding my words. Hold on. Maybe, hold on. Maybe that's all part of this. Having trouble finding your words. And the dark feminine, a dark feminine archetype, a rebellious part of you, like the wild woman or something like that within you is arising, coming out of the muck. The warrior god or warrior goddess. And it's unfixing where things have been too, I'm hearing the word complacent, but I was going to say too rigid. Where you have been complacent. This is a big psychological transformation here, group number 2. So buckle up, put that seatbelt on, and also just know and understand that this whole process takes place for you to become a real powerful version of self. They keep saying the word raw and energized, R-A-W, raw, real, uncut, but also raw could be R-A, like raw, the raw collective, or the sun god Ra. Is something about raw. Anyway, let's keep going. Where are things accelerating for you? Manatee, accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. And I just heard, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. So this is a rebellious energy, group number 2. And there's a time and place for everything. So you have to use your own discernment. Maybe there's a time and place for accepting things and being softer and having a light hand. But this is not it. This is the time for like raw power and determination. This is like a dissolving of the self and a saying no more, standing up for what's right. I'm also hearing they're showing me manatees in Florida and how they often have scars on their back from getting hit by fan boats and stuff. And it's almost like this energy. They're showing me the picket signs again, protesting. It's like saying, no more. We've had enough. We've been brutalized. We've been beaten. We've been battered. We've taken all this crap and we're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to take it. No, we ain't going to take it. That's the energy. That's the vibe of this. That's what's accelerating. And this may be even like a collective energy that we're on the brink of right now, because I know there's a lot of unrest, civil unrest and economic unrest and all sorts of shit going on in the collective. And there's, for some reason, you're tapped into that, and it's very personal, and it's part of your divine self-expression that's meant to be like anchored, really anchored in this lifetime. And you're going to fight back in a way that is healing, is actually what I'm hearing. Gorilla, take the time to listen compassionately to those you love, especially your family members. But what I actually just saw was a silverback gorilla. You know, when they do that chest beating? Ooh. Penguin, the period of darkness that you've been experiencing is now passing. There's a lot of darkness here with Pluto and Scorpio and the moon. Even this owl here in the 10th house. Maybe this has been something that you have needed to face within yourself to be able to show up, or this is going to be something that's going to affect your public image, and that could be scary. But you're meant to like really beat your chest here and say, no, like this is what I stand for. This is my territory. This is what I believe in. This is right, this is wrong type of thing, because you're coming from this higher truth. It's not like an ego truth. The ego has split, I just heard. Oh, interesting. What? Let me get some of these. Okay. That was stuck to the bottom. Strength is underneath. Yeah, it takes a hell of a lot of strength Pluto is hell, to walk through hell and to come out the other side of this transformation. Let's see what this is. Pineapple. Reconciliation. Okay, well, you do have the moon, which is our emotional body, our emotional self. This is the inner self, and you've got the sun, which is the outer self and the expression. I just heard Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The ego is split. Yeah, there's something about an ego split two parts of the self. Sad, I just heard sad. They're showing me a sad clown. Happy face, but sad underneath. They're showing me those drama masks, one happy, one sad. And they're saying relationships. Maybe something to do with family or a romantic relationship, because the seventh houses are really important relationships in life. These are one-on-one connections. These are also soul contracts. So there's something about reconciliation, but I feel like although I'm hearing alchemizing, okay, something about alchemy, even though you're stepping into this energy, or you're in this energy of intense transformation and rebelliousness and finding that hidden power within you, it does also feel like, okay, hold on, I'm getting like a nice balance actually between the inner part of the pineapple being sweet, very sweet and light, and versus the outer being hard and tough and spiky. So maybe these are the two, this is the split within the self. Maybe there's like this warrior part of the self that is like, everybody get the hell away from me. And then there's this very sweet, sensitive part of the inner self. And there's a transformation taking place. Maybe you've been predominantly one and you're transforming into the other, and then you're going to balance those out, or something like that. This feels like reconciling parts of the self, bringing these disparate parts, these I'm hearing hidden and fractured parts of the self back together. And this may show up through relationships. Okay, let's put this here. Let's get these. What is accelerating? I mean, we kind of know what's accelerating here, but why is this happening in this intense way for group number 2? The world. Wow. Well, Pluto moved into Aquarius, so the world is affected by that transition, by that transit, by that change. Pluto in Aquarius is really like a huge collective shift. And this feels like the era of time that you intended to incarnate here was because this is what's happening on the world stage. They said you hold a piece of the whole. Group number 2, you hold a piece of the whole. And they're showing me that moon and the world. The moon rotates around the world, and all the planets rotate around the sun. Something about rings. Rings could represent marriage, contracts, commitment. Saturn has rings around it. Saturn is the planet of rules and structure and hard lessons and karma. It's the tough teacher. So there's a rebellion here, maybe against the rules that don't make sense to you. The Magician. Oh, I heard the rules that are not magic based. Oh, the rules that are not magic based. That are fixed in a false system, I just heard. Fixed in a false system. And the High Priestess. Yeah, anything that's not aligned with this higher truth, the soul level truth. They said it again. Okay, higher self-intervention. They said it again. Your higher self is stepping in like a big and profound way, and they're not being subtle or hush-hush or quiet about it at all. This is what's accelerating, and you're probably going to feel it. You're going to feel like, no, I'm not going to take this crap anymore. I'm not going to sit by and let things be the way they are. It feels like you're going to take a stand, and maybe other people are going to do that with you, or maybe this is just an internal thing where you're setting more boundaries and saying no and showing up for yourself, or maybe this is... The Empress, yeah, this is this is the Emperor. But I saw Empress for a split second there, and this is divine feminine energy we're talking about with the Omega Dragon. Empress and Emperor. The divine couple. The masculine and feminine. Look at all these that they all have like two faces. This one and that one. That one and that one. That one's got 3. This one's got 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. There's a bunch of faces here. So like exploring these different alter egos or archetypes within the self, especially the ones that are connected to maybe like dark feminine energy or rebelliousness, revolutionary type energy. Yeah, that's going to be really cathartic, healing, empowering for you. And this is what Spirit actually wants you to focus on, because your intention and your focus is what accelerates things. So if you can, they just said, put your back into it. Put your back into it. Look at that. He's got carrying the world on his back. What are you, like Atlas? Got the world on your shoulders, holding up the world? Why? The Emperor. The Emperor Penguin, they just said. And then I remembered, was it in your reading that the penguin was on the, I think so, that penguin was on the bottom. The period of darkness that you've been experiencing is now passing. I heard a passing fancy. Oh my God, you know what that's a reference to? A passing fancy? That's from Family Guy, where the episode where Brian writes a play. And it gets a lot of success, but he doesn't end up feeling fulfilled because it's only successful in the small town. And then Stewie ends up writing a play that's like way better than him. Oh, this is interesting. I don't know what that's talking about, but a passing fancy. Well, let's look at it this way. You're not going to get all up in arms about a passing fancy, but you will about something that's like fundamental to you, something that's foundational, something that it affects you directly and consistently. Maybe that's what that's talking about. And the moon, again, you have the moon twice. Moon, watch your moon sign. And I was going to say, I should have said it, but anyway, when I was looking at the pineapple and I was comparing the inner soft, sweet to the outer hard shell, I was thinking Cancer, the sign of Cancer in my head, like the zodiac sign. And here we have the crab. Cancer rules the moon. Right. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but I was just thinking about it in terms of the pineapple. So reconciling these diametrically opposing parts of the self, and that being almost like an act of rebellion in and of itself, because you're integrating and becoming whole, and in that you are an embodied, I heard truther, an embodied version of yourself, a truther. Somebody who's aligned with that higher truth and willing and able to express it. And maybe this will show up in a small way, in context of like the world here and the world stage, in smaller ways, like between you and your commitments, your romantic relationships, your family, things like that. The Chariot. It did come out reversed. It's giving me Gemini and Cancer merged together. Ooh, that's an interesting energy. Gemini and Cancer moved. Something about moved. Moved to tears. Moving. The Chariot does have to do with movement. Something about practical movement. Practical magic. You did have the Magician. Practical magic. That's a movie. We're getting a lot of like pop culture references here. Yeah, the world, the collective, the zeitgeist. I knew the devil was going to come out. I just had a feeling. This is very Scorpio energy. So, and strength. Yeah, you've been like, this is kind of like I was just going to say, this is kind of like a dark night of the soul, and you've got the death card, which is really what this is. It's an ego death, but it's actually not a death, it's a reintegration. It's a reintegration of these split parts of the ego, these separate parts of the psyche that are, through this process of individuation and this archetypal reintegration, coming back together. Now, it is a challenge because you have to face some of these dark parts of the self that may manifest in the people and the types of situations that you come across in the world around you, whether it's directly or indirectly. But you are being guided here by your higher self quite directly. And this is going to help you to stand in your power. This is the real core of it. This is what's accelerating. You're standing in your power in a really big way, and that is going to change a lot of things. Yeah, that's going to change a lot of things in your life. The structures in your life will change. The way that you're seen, the types of committed relationships or partnerships you have. Sometimes the 10th house, it can talk about career and public notoriety and recognition, but it can also talk about how we're seen by friends and family in terms of our relationship status or what we're known for. It's our legacy type of energy here. So what's the legacy that you want to leave behind? And where have you been unconsciously or consciously shying away from that? Because there's some kind of fear or a split within your psyche that says, I'm not that thing. But there's a touch of destiny about you, group number 2. And if you have it in you to do this, which I believe that you do, and your higher self knows that you do, you're going to be bringing that in. You're going to channel it. You're going to be great. Like rap God versus the rap devil. That's so funny. I just heard something about exposing the dark underbelly of the rap scene. I don't know if that's literal or if this is just kind of the vibe, exposing something that's wrong with the world by not putting up with it anymore. Choosing to live by your rules, by your higher self's rules, by what really aligns with you and your spirit. It's, tough to do in an insane world sometimes, right? What is it that they say that those who were seen to be dancing to the music were thought crazy by those who couldn't hear it? But it's no measure of sanity to be well adjusted in an insane world. Okay, so I'll leave you with those 2 quotes. Lots to do with collective consciousness stuff here that you're working with. That's the reading though, group number 2. So take what resonates and leave the rest. But I really, really hope that this reading was empowering for you and that it accelerates that process of reintegration and personal empowerment that you are going through in this spiritual development phase. On behalf of yourself and for the highest good of the collective, I hope that you rise to the challenge here and you embrace your true power for your greatest and highest good and the greatest and highest good of all. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to dive deeper on the channel, we do have memberships available. There's 2 tiers to choose from. The first one gets you access to the additional weekly readings that members can request topics from me on. So we pull from the jar and we see what topic it's going to be based on what you guys have written in. And then the second tier gets additional extra content and also live streams with me once a month where we do live readings and interactive work together in a more intimate and sometimes one-on-one basis. Like I get to work with each of the members' energy and help in whatever way I'm able to. So yeah, if you're interested, the link is in the description box below, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi group number 3. You guys chose the orange gold dragon from Arcturus. It says, opens you to knowledge for the new golden age, carry the energy of the future, and be a guiding light. Okay, so I actually want to mention that I was seeing references the other day to Arcturians, the Arcturian Council specifically. Maybe that's for somebody in this group. I'm hearing something about attachment versus connection, or attachment and connection. Virgo, integrity, reverence, and service. You're here to be of service group number 3, and it feels like this is accelerating, or you're being given new downloads or new details. Virgo is all about the details. I just realized after I said that, because I'm just channeling right now, but you're being given new details about your mission, your service, what you do here, why you're here on the planet, why you're on Earth at this time, what you're doing. Nurture, comfort, and protection. Cancer energy here. So you could be here as a healer. Yeah, both of these energies are very healing. You could be here to be a parent. You could be here to be a healer, a physical healer, an energy healer, a psychological healer. What else does this say? Knowledge of the golden age. Maybe it's like new types of healing. Maybe it's even new types of healing we don't even know about yet. You carry the energy of the future. So you're here to be a guiding light and to be of service through this new energy. Beacon holder. I heard beacon, like you hold the beacon. I heard, okay, before I say this, because I'll forget if I don't, I heard bacon, bacon, who's got the bacon? So random. I don't even know what that's a reference to. And whenever something comes up super randomly like that and I don't see how it's connected to the rest of the reading, sometimes it's just meant for one person. And it could be a synchronicity or something that tips you off to something in the future, or it could be a reference to something that's so obscure that I have no idea. So I'll just leave it there. But yeah, bacon, bacon, who's got the bacon? Chiron, hurt and heal. Yes, you're definitely here to be a healer. You're definitely here to be a healer. Chiron is the archetype of the wounded healer. So you may be accelerating your own healing right now, or accelerating some kind of a healing business for someone in this group. Accelerating your work in a healing business or in a healing art, healing craft. 6th house, establishing a foundation, health, daily life, and practical details. This does have to do with your work. I'm hearing something about client work for somebody. And yeah, definitely health. So you're working very much in this domain. Wow, look at that. Like, yeah. Even before the Cancer card came out, I was going to say, like, you're here to be of service, and it's probably to do with healing. I probably should have just said it, but now we've got so much. The cards say it for me, so I didn't even need to say it. Taurus, trust, patience, and sensuality. I'm hearing building for the future. So you're building something. They said legacy. 1st house, individuality, self-image, and approach to life. So this is you. This is also your physical body. So you're leaving a legacy of health behind. They're showing me an example of a mom teaching her kids how to eat healthy. And that leaves a legacy, because then they are healthier because of that. And then they're able to teach their kids, if they have kids, how to be healthy. There's something about this legacy of, they said legacy of one. Maybe this is even talking about oneness. That's the unity consciousness. That wholeness is extremely healing. And maybe this is connected to that archetype of the wounded healer and how you're meant to make a difference here in the world through oneness. 7 of Wands. I'm hearing integrity. (444) on the recording time. Integrity, and they were showing me like hemp leaves or weed leaves. Integrity. Integrity Farms. Oh, look at that. And you got the green man. He's all leaves. Something about nature. Nature being healing. Working with nature. Natural substitutes, I just heard. Maybe this is for your own healing, or for this legacy of one, or something about what you're here to do, like working with natural medicine or something along those lines. New healing techniques, I'm hearing. Six of chalices, Six of cups, something that was passed down. Maybe you learned it from a parent, because this is very childlike energy again, but they did show me the example of the mother teaching the children. So maybe this is what you're doing. I heard laying down the line. And then they started playing a song, which I think is Johnny Cash. I don't know if it's laying down the line, or maybe I'm getting mixed up with Ring of Fire. Something, I'm not sure what that's about. Two of Swords, Two of Athems. I heard taking the back seat, and they're showing me Taco Bell. That's a synchronicity. I kept seeing references to Taco Bell coming up since last weekend. So, okay, what is this talking about? Well, we're talking about health and healing. I'm sure Taco Bell is not the healthiest food to eat. I don't know. I've never even eaten it, but something about they pointed me to the scythe in his hand. Crops, harvesting wheat, something about food and health, healing the body, daily routines. Yeah, what do we do every day? We eat food. So makes sense. Sixth house would rule things like your diet, your nutrition, and how that affects your health. So does Taurus. Taurus is connected to food as well, because it's all about that sensory experience. Okay. The witch, the magician. And look, she's cooking something up, and she's got, what is that, ginger or ginseng that she's putting in the cauldron. Natural remedies. I keep getting that. Maybe you're using natural remedies. That's what's going to accelerate your healing. Or you're teaching about that, or you're exploring that, or you're doing something with that here, or you're being called to do something with that. Six of Swords. So that you can move on, move past some kind of a health issue, move beyond something that's taken a lot of patience from you, or start to see that acceleration take place, moving from one place to another drastically. I just heard moving from one place to another drastically. And they're showing me the scene in Lord of the Rings. If you're not new here, you know I reference Lord of the Rings a lot. It's one of my favorite series, but they're showing me the scene where the shadow people, or whatever they're called, I can't remember what they're called, are chasing Frodo and the other hobbits, and they jump onto the ferry to get away from them. Whoop, look at that. Something, you're escaping something, or they can't cross water, something about water. But the reason that this is connected to the Six of Swords is because they get onto the barge, they get onto that little thing, and they escape to the other side. And I was seeing that energy of like a drastic change from one place to another. You're able to get away from something that was chasing you, or something that was harmful, something that was attacking you. I just heard something about breath or breast. I don't know what they said there. Breath or breast. And I was kind of getting a little bit of a vibe of like, I'm hearing anti-inflammatory right now, anti-inflammatory. And I was going to say, I'm getting sort of a vibe of like, sorry, I'm getting so much. I just heard fibromyalgia. I got tingles through my body as soon as I said that. But I was getting, what I'm trying to say is I keep getting this energy of an autoimmune disease. Is fibromyalgia an autoimmune disease? They're saying it again, legacy of healing, legacy of healing. Fibromyalgia, I think maybe it is. I don't know. I'd have to look that up because I'm not sure. But there's something about you accelerating your healing of the physical body. Seven of Swords, getting away from something that was going on underneath the surface. There's an alert that's like tipping you off to something that you need to heal. They're saying downloads. You're getting downloads. healing downloads. They said healing protocol. So what you need to do to heal and to protect yourself. And this is going to be the legacy you leave behind. And instead of letting this kind of like simmer under the surface and fly under the radar, it's like you're going to have a flare up or something, but it's going to cause you to hit back or to battle it with some new tactic. If this is something you're dealing with, like a literal physical health issue, you're going to hit it back with a new tactic, and it's going to work, and it's going to change things. It's manifesting health. They're saying you're manifesting health. 11:11, as I said that. 9 of Cups. This is everything that you've wished for. If you've been in pain or something was stolen, they said, oh, the 7 of Swords is thief energy. And you've got that 7 of Wands being like, no, I'm going to protect myself. Both 7s too, very spiritual number. 7th chakra. Did I mention the crown chakra in your reading, or was that in group 2? I can't remember now, but I think it applies here too, because they said downloads, and those come through usually the 7th chakra. So you're from the future. What? Knowledge of the golden age, carry the energy of the future. And she's got the crystal ball looking in the future. You're from the future, group number 3. What do I mean by that? Well, energetically, it's like you came from a future timeline and you reincarnated in this one. And you're carrying with you knowledge of healing modalities or healing techniques that aren't even available right now. So like imagine, if you will, just kind of humor me here. Imagine that you know about penicillin and you go into the past. I'm actually seeing the book Outlander, which is a story about a field nurse in World War I think. And then she goes through these standing stones and gets shot back to the 1700s or 1600s or whatever. And she knows about penicillin. They don't have it back then, but she knows about it because she's from the future. So she's able to use that. She's also, Claire is a healer in that book. She's a nurse and she ends up being a medicine woman, a healer in the time period that she plops into. So this is kind of what I'm seeing here. And it's like, imagine you have that knowledge of whatever healing techniques we have now, and you go into the past and you take those with you. Well, you come from the golden age, which we're not in right now. By the way, we're moving towards it. We're getting there, but we're not there. And you have come back here, maybe even incarnated into a body that has physical health issues, being the wounded healer archetype. It doesn't have to be that way, but that may be quite common in this group of souls with this energy going on, that you're able to rediscover, to find or to create these healing techniques, or to find what works for you through experimentation or through application or through some kind of a lineage or a legacy. Whether it's coming from the future or from the past, it's irrelevant, because what it's actually about here is healing. 4 of Swords. Rest and recuperation. I heard healing for healing's sake. I like that. Healing for healing's sake. Oh, they're showing me energy transmutation working with trees. So like when you lie underneath a tree, the energy, the auric field, the toroidal field of the tree circulates like this. And what it does is it can take your energy, and first of all, at a biological scientific level, what it will do is it will offset some of the positive ions that you have in your body, which are ungrounding and create inflammation. And it counters that with negative ions. It helps to ground you in that way. So grounding isn't just like, some spiritual thing. Like, no, there's science to grounding. And it physically gets rid of some of those toxins and pollutants and oxidation in the body, if I'm not mistaken. And so there's, maybe this is the technology you're exploring. It's like shapes or biogeometry or sacred geometry or plant medicine, or I just heard hands-on healing. That's like Reiki. I'm a Reiki master. I don't do it anymore for clients, but I still know how to do it, and I do it for myself. And the tree, its biofield will help to stabilize and heal any energy signature imbalances within your own field as well. It's like you merge together, and the pollutants, just like how we exhale carbon dioxide and they use that, they breathe in the carbon dioxide and they create oxygen. And so we benefit from each other in that symbiotic type of relationship. Well, it's the same thing with the energy signature. The person lying under the tree is getting the benefit of the energetic cleansing that the tree is actually getting benefit from as well. So it's a win-win situation. The tree takes that negative or stale, stagnant energy and it uses it for its own, I'm hearing the word pollination, probably not literally, but like there's something about it that helps to keep its growth cycle going. I was seeing the other day something about pollination of the yucca tree. Joshua tree came up in a previous reading as well. And then after that reading, I was shown stuff to do, like synchronistically, it came up again in regard to the yucca tree and these types of bugs that go and pollinate while laying their eggs. And they have this, it's like beyond symbiotic. It was like they're completely dependent on each other for that, for each other's life cycle. Look it up if you're curious about it, but there's something about that as well. So like this, it's not codependency, but it's like there's some kind of interdependence here that's really crucial to this healing. They said, don't wear a mask. That was random. Something about not wearing a mask, unmasking. 7 of chalices. They said 7 cups of water. That was literally what this is the seven of cups. And this is the water element, but they're showing me like 7 cups of water throughout the day. So maybe there's something about like hydration as well. And the 8 of cups, I was going to say, isn't it 8 ounces? 8 ounces? I know that's probably not going to apply to everyone. I think it depends on your body weight and your needs and things like that. But there's something about hydration. It's so funny. I was going to just shuffle and then they said, no, take the one off the top. And in my head, I was like, 8 cups of water. And then we get the 8 of cups. Magic. Yeah, you're going to be tapping into some kind of magical healing ability or capacity here. Queen of Pentacles, you a fully healed body. You got the resources, some kind of physical nourishment being super important here as well. And it may just be through like small daily changes. It doesn't have to be anything revolutionary, group number 3. It can just be like these small additional changes that you're making, drinking a little bit more water, going out and sitting underneath a tree, eating some healthy food, taking some CBD. I don't know, because I saw the hemp leaf or the weed leaf, something like that, right? I'm not a doctor. Ace of Wands. But there's some kind of inspiration here that you're meant to explore. Cherries, maybe fruit. There's a lot to do with health. So and I was just going to say, that's crazy. The cherries always remind me of relationships because there's 2 and they come together. And I was just saying that about the yucca tree as well, and that particular bug. There's something, the moth, it's a moth, I think, that they're dependent on each other. And then you get the 2 of cups. So something about connection. Yeah, connection. Helping other people heal, helping yourself heal. Okay. I think we'll leave that there. Let's get a couple of these. The Fool. Didn't we have that? Yeah, the green man in this deck is the Fool. So you have the Fool card twice. This is a fresh start, a new beginning, a new chapter, fresh page in the book. A reset. Oh yeah. Technologically speaking, resets occur after a download. Like if you download new software or something like that, you have to shut it down and go through a reset. Okay. And it's a slowdown temporarily. That's Four of Swords energy. It's a slowdown temporarily, but then it speeds up because maybe that software, that new download, that software is helps your body to function better, or helps your daily routine function more smoothly, or you're able to do something differently, more effectively because of that. The Emperor. I almost did the same thing. I almost called this the Empress. I did that in group 2 as well. But it's the Emperor. Structures and stability. I heard rules of engagement. And the Hermit. And the Star. I heard dichomio, and that is one of the symbols in Reiki. It's like the power symbol, or like not just like not like the base power symbol, but like the really power. It's for downloads, it's for attunements, it's for activations. Dichomio. So yeah, they just keep saying it. Dichomio. The Hermit. Like in solitude, you've found some healing. Practical healing, they're saying. Practical healing. Virgo. The Hermit is Virgo. You had Virgo. Practical healing. And I'm hearing that it suits your needs. They said suits your needs. Practical healing suits your needs. The Star is regeneration and healing. The Oasis. Judgment. Music therapy. When I said Oasis, I saw the band Oasis. I think that's a band in my head. Something about music, maybe part of this as well, or frequency. Yeah. So group number 3, what's accelerating here, simply put, your healing. Your healing journey, your healing capacity, your healing skills, gifts, abilities. If you do this for work, your client base and the effectiveness you have working with others. If you do this for yourself, or you're on your own personal journey of healing, then it's going to be about that. If you don't have health issues or anything like that, this is just optimizing your health, because you're implementing some changes into your life, and that's helping to accelerate your clarity of mind, your productivity, your body's ability to regenerate itself. Yeah, and this is going to improve other areas of life, maybe relationships. Did I mention parenthood in this group? I think I did. Did I say that when we were talking about... It's hard for me to remember stuff in readings, because when you're in channel mode, you're like in a half trance. So it's kind of like being a little bit out of it. But yeah, grounding, needing to ground. But no, like there's something about parenthood or relationships and the healing that happens within those dynamics on a daily basis within the household. That's really what I'm seeing here. And things are going to go well. Things are going to go well. Something that you didn't see before that was kind of gunking up the works or making things difficult is going to become... You're going to be aware of it, or you're going to be given some kind of information or inspiration about what you can do, and you're going to apply that, and you're going to see the benefit right away. Yeah, fast, accelerated. It's very fast. Okay, wait, no, hold on. They said, don't go. Okay, hold on. Sorry. They wanted me to get these, and I forgot. And then they said, hey, don't stop yet. You're not done yet. Keep going. Okay. Emu. This is a good time to go on an adventure. Ooh, maybe you're going to learn something by going somewhere that you're not used to. Or you could be adventuring into new territory when it comes to I'm hearing something about the science of it. The science of healing. Spider. Trust the creative spark you're feeling and express it through writing stories that inspire and enlighten. Maybe that's part of the legacy. Oh yeah, healing doesn't always have to be literal. I was taking it literally with Virgo and all this other energy, but maybe it's like psychological healing through stories, through music, through like more abstract means. It could be all of the above. Cheetah. Get clear on your intention, stay focused, and move quickly to achieve your goal. Well, this is what is accelerating here. And cheetah is one of the fastest land animals. So land. By land and sea, by land and sky. Land and sky, land and sea. Walrus, remain vigilant about the current situation. Pay attention to signs and omens and let them dictate your choices. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I was getting before. It's like you're going to have some kind of symptoms or something. Keep your sense of humor and don't take things so seriously. Roadrunner, you're going to be speeding up. You're going to be running faster, and that's where that acceleration is really coming in. But I was going to say that feels to me like you may have some kind of symptoms show up, or maybe if you're working with clients, you'll have people with the same issue starting to show up. I used to have that. Like when I had my practice going, I had a Reiki practice, I had an Akashic reading practice, I did these types of readings for people as well. And often I would see clumps of people coming in at around the same time from all over the world, different people, they don't know each other, but they all were dealing with like a similar issue. Like I'd have like a group of people, like 10 or 12 people who were dealing with one issue, and then that would resolve and we'd deal with it. And then another clump of all these other issues would come, and it would be all like all at the same time. And I'd always be fascinated by how those patterns would play out. Maybe this is Virgo too, looking at the pattern, the spider web, the pattern. There's an order to it. And when you find that order and you pay attention to those symptoms or those signs or those patterns, you're going to be able to see where the goal is, where you're drawing the line. Something that they said, drawing the line. Didn't they say something about line earlier? I don't know. And then you're going to be very clear on what you need to do, or that insight is going to come in through some kind of download, whether it's spiritually, like in meditation, or you get some kind of insight or inspiration, or it's something through outside or external means. I don't know, but you're going to get a download. So remain vigilant. Constant vigilance. What's that from? That's funny. Yeah, and that will help you to make a clear judgment call on what you need to do here. Whew. Okay. Okay, group number 3, that's the reading. Of course, just take what resonates. Hashtag not a doctor. But I've definitely worked with people doing healing work before, years under my belt of Reiki healing and spiritual healing, soul healing, doing energy body readings, soul readings, Akashic readings, soul blueprint readings, all of that. So like I'm very familiar with these topics, and working with my own healing journey as well. And my embodiment of that has not been easy, but yeah, just see how this plays out for you, or let me know how this resonates for you if you feel so called, or what did it spark? I don't know. Maybe something sparked. That Ace of Wands, that's definitely a spark. And yeah, I'm just wishing you all the best on this accelerated healing and the effect that will have, the positive effect that will have on your life and the lives of those around you, because it's all connected here in this web. So yeah, I love you. Thank you for being here. I hope it was helpful. If you want to dive deeper on the channel, I do have memberships available. You've got 2 tiers to choose from. The first one gets you access to the additional weekly readings, where you can write in topics that you'd like to see me read on. And the second tier gets you access to additional content and monthly live streams with me, where we do a little bit more one-on-one work. And it's a smaller group, so I'm able to tackle some of your more personal issues if that comes up, and also do collective readings there within that group too. Okay, guys, I love you. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.